Good morning to everyone. Welcome to my online class presentation, and today's session is for the honors second year student. At first I would like to introduce myself. I am Polirani Shaha, assistant professor, and my today's topic is about the famous poem by Percy Shelley, To a Skylark. You see the name of the topic, that is To a Skylark by Percy Shelley, and it is a very famous poem or lyrical poem of the Shelley, and this poem is about a bird, and this bird is not an ordinary bird. It is one kind of spirit according to poet, and this bird is a symbol of pure joy and happiness. Before going to start my lesson, I would like to say something about the poet, that is Shelley. Shelley was born in 1792 and died in 1822. He drowned in a sudden storm while sailing in Italy at the age of 30, and he regarded one of the major English romantic poets, and he also regarded by some critics that he is the finest lyric poets in the English literature, and he is very well known for his long form poetry, especially long lyrical poem. And before start my lesson, I want to say something about what is ode. What is an ode? Ode is a one kind of poem, and in which a person or a speaker or a poet express his own feeling, especially strong feelings about something, for something or somebody. Something can be abstract idea or some abstract things or somebody or someone, and it expresses a strong feeling of love or respect for someone or something. It is a lyrical poem, and it maintains the rhyme scheme, and this poem also expresses the personal feeling, personal emotion, and universal themes are united. And this word ode is derived from the Greek word which means the song, and usually it accompanied by a dance. This is the main characteristics of the poem, that is ode. This ode expresses strong feelings of the poet or the speaker or the person, and especially personal feelings, and it blend the personal emotion and universal themes, and it is one kind of lyrical poem. It may be long or short, and it maintains the rhyme scheme. And To a Skylark is a long poem, and this poem has 21 stanza of 5 lines each. That is, every stanza has 5 lines, and total lines of the poem 105 lines, and meter or the rhyme scheme is A B A B B, and this poem published in 1820. That is the some information of the poem To a Skylark. And what is the main idea of the poem? And this is the main idea of the poem, that is the love of the poet or the bird song, the Skylark song, and he compares the bird to a number of things. And this poem opens up with the speaker, that is the poet, calling out to a bird which he calls a spirit, and he tells the bird how much he loves its singing. But this and then he describes how it, after that he compares the bird's song to a branch of different things. A star, he compared the bird song to a star or a rose, the planet Venus, a thought of the poet, a maiden, a glowworm, and he uses the figure of speech of simile and metaphor to make the comparison. And first, in every stanza he uses he uses different things to compare the bird song, that is the even to a star, to a rose, to the planet Venus, to the thought of the poet, and the love of wine, and many other things. And then he starts to talk about how all of the beautiful things that the human beings make cannot compare to the song of this bird. And he thinks that the human beings make the things cannot be compared to the song of the Skylark. And he thinks that the song of the Skylark is more beautiful than the human beings making things. All human things, according to the poet, all human songs are sad, but the bird's song is just pure joy. And he thinks that, and he established these thoughts in his poem to a Skylark. And finally he dreams, the speaker, that is the poet, dreams of being able to sing with as much song and joy and freedom as this happy bird. He dreams of singing with as much song and freedom as the bird, the Skylark. And that is the main idea of the poem. And this poem has actually have no plot, and this poem, it is one kind of observation, and this is one kind of bunch of observation about a single idea, that is the song of the bird, Skylark bird, and description of the song of the bird. And this is the main plot of this poem. And the summary, that is the summary of the before my start lesson, I said that it has 21 stanza, and it is a long lyrical poem, and every stanza it is quite difficult to summarize the every stanza line by line, and it is quite impossible to explain the every line in this class. So I summarize the stanza 1 to 5, and then I can I can make the understandable for you. And the first stanza, that is actually addresses the bird as a spirit, and that is beautiful, and it comes from the heaven. He thinks that it is one special supernatural bird, and so this is why he calls it is one kind of spirit, and there is something holy about the bird, and it sings from above the sky. It is a spirit of joy and happiness. And the second stanza, we see that it rises, that is the Skylark rises from the earth towards the heaven, and he thinks that it comes from heaven or near it, and it keeps moving higher and higher. The poet captured the joy and freedom of the bird singing and swearing and singing and swearing, and he concentrated the main idea, that is the joy and freedom of the bird. In the third stanza, we see he talks about the beauty and the brightness of the sky. He speaks about the freedom and pleasure of movement without any effort of the Skylark, a spirit which is full of energy and freshness, full of possibilities and new beginning. He thinks that the Skylark is a spirit, and it is full of energy and freshness, full of possibilities and new beginning. And in the fourth stanza, we see that the poet is saying about the way the Skylark flies in the sky. One feels even the evening that has turned purple melt around it. He compares the in the fifth stanza, the poet uses the metaphor. He compares the sound of the arrows that comes from the silver sky. And to the 6th to 10th stanza, he thinks that is, the poet says that the voice of the skylark is very powerful, and it can be heard from on the earth and the sky, and only its sound is hearable. And in the 7th stanza, he compares song with the raindrops coming from the rainbow cloud. In the 8th stanza, he compares, actually the poet uses many similes or metaphor to compare the song of the skylark. He loves the song of the skylark. He thinks that it is one kind of pure of joy and happiness, the skylark. So he uses the figure of speech, that is simile and metaphor. In the 8th stanza, that is, he compared the skylark to a poet, that is the thought of a poet. The song of the bird and the poems of the poet have the power to make the people see the world in a new and important way. In the 8th stanza, he thinks he compares the song of the skylark to the thought of a poet. That is, that is, both of the song of the bird and the thought of the poet have the power to make the people see the world in a new and important way. And in the 9th stanza, he compared to a maiden in a high tower of her palace. In the 10th stanza, he compares the beautiful singing sky spirit to a glowworm, and many other things. In the compare the skylark to a hidden natural beauty. In the next stanza, he compares with the that is 11th stanza. He compares with the trample chant, the hymnal chorus. In the and the spring rain, the song of love and wine, and many other things. In the next stanza, he thinks that the Skylark song surpasses the next stanza, he thinks that the Skylark song surpasses all earthly things in joy and loveliness. It is more delightful than the gentle showers of the flowers opening under the soft things, spring rain, songs of love or wine, of morning, of marriage and victory in word are absolutely dull in comparison with the bird song. The bird knows more about the mysteries of life and death than have been revealed in our life. That is 11 to 17 stanza. He thinks that the song of the bird is more joyous, or it gives us more happiness in comparison to the songs of love or wine, or the songs of marriage and victory in word, and absolutely they are dull in comparison with the bird song. The bird knows more about the mysterious things of life and death than we have known, that is the human beings know about the mystery of our life. And last stanza, that is the 18 to 21. This, in the last stanza, the bird song is better than, he thinks that the poet thinks that the bird song is better than all the wisdom enriched in books, and he thinks that all the wisdom, all the treasure that is enriched in the book or the things, everything is in comparison to the bird song is better than everything the bird song. He thinks that the romantic poet always use the exaggeration or hyperbole to express their feelings about natural object. So he uses many types of similes and metaphors to present the songs of the Skylark before us. The poet at the last stanza, the poet appeals to the bird for a portion of his joy, so that to give him the little portion of his joy, that is, he thinks that this joy is pure, and so that he might win the heart of the man all the world over with his poem, as he himself in being listened by a song. Even if man's life free from pride, fear, or hatred, this song would not have been so sweet as the bird song. He thinks that if he thinks that if the man's life is free from any type of pride, fear, hatred, but then wouldn't be have been so sweet as the bird song. And so he appeals to the bird Skylark to give him the sweetness or the joyous mood of his song, that is so that he might win the heart of the people, all over the people, with his poem. Because because he thinks that its song is more beautiful, more joyous, more it is more like than anything worldly, anything. So he appeals, and that is the summary of the poem, and that's all. Thank you.